Hello, this is Sunny as always, and today I realized we are actually finishing The Wind in the Willows. So next week we'll start. I haven't decided yet, but I was thinking either Boxcar Children, uh, The Wind in the Willows, obviously, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and Through the Looking Glass, or The Prince and the Pauper. Yeah, if you have any suggestions, you can just send me a little personal message or, however you can contact me. Anyways, my tier today, the first one, so it's still the first ones that I made, it's still pretty rudimentary. Right as I went on and used more things other than pipe cleaners. Go ahead and get started. So we are doing chapter 9, I think is where we are right now. The last 4 chapters. There we go. Chapter 9, Where Wayfarers All. The water rat did not exactly know why. To all appearances, the summer's pomp was still at fullest, although in the tailed acred green had given way to groans were reddening, and the woods were dashed here and there with the tawny fierce light and warmth and color were still present and in clear of any chilly premonitions of the passing year. But the constant courtiers and hedges had shrunk to a casual evensong from unwearied performers. The robin was beginning to assert himself once more, feeling in the air of change and departure. The cuckoo, of course, had long been many another feathered friend for months a part of the familiar landscape, and its anxiety was missing too, and it seemed that the ranks thinned steadily day. Rat, ever observant of all winged movement, saw that it was taking day southing tendency, and even as he lay in bed at night, he thought, passing in the darkness overhead, the beat and quiver of impatient peasants, obedient to the peremptory call. Nature's grace has its season, like the others, as the guests one by one pack apart, and the seats at the table d'hote shrunk pitifully at each meal. As suites of rooms are closed up and waiters sent away, those boarders who are staying on until the next year's full reopening cannot help being somewhat affected by these and farewells. This eager discussion of plans, routes, and this daily shrinkage in the steam of comradeship, one gets unsettled and inclined to be querulous. Why this craving for change? Come quietly here, like us, and be jolly. We don't know this hotel of the season we have among ourselves, we fellows who remain and see the whole interest. All very true, no doubt. And the others always reply, "I'd envy you, and some other year perhaps, but just now we have engagements, and our time is up." So they depart with a smile and a nod, and we miss them. And the rat was a self-sufficing sort of animal, rooting whoever went he stayed. Still, he could not help knowing what was in the air and feeling some of its influence in his bones. It was down to anything seriously with all this fighting going on. Leaving the watershed stood thick and tall in a stream that was becoming sluggish and low. Countrywards crossed a field or two of pasturage already looking done, and thrust into the great realm of wheat, yellow, wavy, and full of quiet motion and small whisperings. Here he loved to wander through the forest of stiff, strong stalks that carried their own gold hay over his head, a sky that was always dancing, shimmering softly to strongly to the passing wind and recovering itself with a toss and a merry laugh. He had many small friends, a society complete in itself, leading full, but always with a spare moment to gossip and exchange news with the. Today, however, though they were still enough, the field mice seemed preoccupied. Many were digging and tunneling busily, others gathering groups, examining plans and drawings of small flats, desirable and compact, and situated conveniently near the stores. Some rusty trunks and dress baskets, others were already elbow deep, packing their, whilst everywhere piles and bundles of wheat, oat, barley, beech nuts lay about ready for transport. "Here's old as soon as they saw him. Come and bear a hand, rat, and don't stand about. What sort of games are you up to?" said the water rat severely. "You know nothing of winter quarters yet, by a long way." "Oh, yes, we know that," exclaimed Mouse rather shamefacedly. "But it's always as well to be in good time. We really must get all the furniture and baggage and stores moved out of this house before those horrid machines begin clinking round the field, and then get picked up so quickly nowadays, and if you're late you have to put up with such a lot of doing up too before they're fit to move into. Of course we do that, but we're only just making a start." "Oh, bother starts. It's a splendid day. Come for a row or a stroll around the hedges or something." "Well, I think not today, thank you," replied hurriedly. "Perhaps some other day, when we've more time." With a snort of contempt, swung round to go, tripped over a hat box and undignified remarks. "If people could be more careful," said the field mouse, "and look where they're going, people wouldn't hurt themselves and forget themselves. Mind that hold all, rat. You'd better sit down somewhere. In an hour or two, free to attend to you." "You won't be free, as you call it, much Christmas, I can see that," retorted the rat grumpily as he pickled. He returned somewhat despondently to his river again, his faithful river, which never packed up, flooded, or went into winter quarters. In the osiers which fringed the bank he spied a swallow sitting, was joined by another, and then by a third, and the birds, fidgeting restless, talked together earnestly and low. "What, already?" said the rat, strolling up to them. "What's the I call it simply ridiculous." "Oh, we're not off yet, if that's what you mean. We're only making plans and arranging things, talking it over, what we're and where we'll stop and so on. That's half the fun." "Fun?" said the mouse. "Now that's just what I don't understand. If you've got to leave this pleasant place, miss you, and your snug homes that you've just settled into, why, when the hour strikes, doubt you'll go bravely and face all the trouble and discomfort and change, believe that you're not very happy. But to want or even think about it till you really need. No, you don't understand that, Swallow. First, we feel it stirring within us a sweet unrest, then bounds one by one like homing pigeons. They flutter through our dreams at night. They fly with us in our wheelings and circlings by day. We hunt each other to compare notes and assume ourselves that it was all really true. Scents and sounds and names of long forgotten places come gradually back and couldn't you stop on for just this year?" suggested the water rat whisper. "We'll all do our best to make you feel at home. You've no idea what good times while you are far away." "I tried stopping on one year," said I had grown so fond of the place that when the time came I hung back and let the others go. For a few weeks it was all well enough, but afterwards, oh, the weary length of the night during sunless days, the air so clammy and chill, and not an insect. No, it was no good. My courage broke down, and on one cold, storming, flying well inland on account of the storm easterly gate, a strong east. It was snowing hard as I beat through the passes of the great mountains. I like to win, though. But never shall I forget the blissful feeling of the high back as I sped down to the lakes that lay so blue and placid below me. My first fat insect. The past was like a bad dream. The future holiday, as I moved southward week by week, easily, lazily, I dared, but always heeding the call. No, I had had my warning that I think of disobedience. "Ah, yes, the call of the south of the sea," two other dreamily. "Its song, its hues, its radiant air. Remember?" And forgetting the rat, they slid into passionate reminiscence while he listened fascinated, and his heart burned within him. In him he knew that it was vibrating at last, that chord hitherto dormant and unsuspected. Chatter of these southward bound birds, their pale and second-hand reports, had awakened this wild new sensation, and through with it. What would one moment of the real thing work? One passionate touch of the real southern sun, one waftic odor. With closed eyes he dared to dream a moment in full abandon. When he looked again, the river seemed steely and chill, the green fieldless. Then his loyal heart seemed to cry out in his weaker celery. "Why do you ever come back then at all?" he demanded, What do you find to attract you in this poor drab little country? And do you, Swallow, that the other call is not for us too, and it's the call of lush meadow grass, wet orchards, warm insect haunted, of browsing cattle, of haymaking, and all the farm buildings clustered round the eaves? Do you suppose, said the second one, that you are the only that craves with a hungry longing to hear the cuckoo's note again? Said the third, we shall be homesick once more for quiet water lilies swaying of the English stream. But today all that seems pale and thin and very far. Just now our blood dances to other music. They fell a twittering once more, and this time their intoxicating babbles of violent seas, lands, and lizard-hunting walls. Restlessly the rat wandered once more, climbing the slopes that rose great rings rose gently from the north